Have you ever looked into a stranger's eyes and felt an immediate, terrifying sense of memory? It is not just attraction, and it is not just lust. It is something far more ancient. It feels like the ground beneath you has shifted. It feels like a sudden silence in the middle of a noisy room. You look at him and your soul whispers, "Oh, there you are. I have been looking for you." This is not a fairy tale. This is physics. This is energy. Carl Jung famously said that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But what happens when that reaction is not just a spark, but a complete fusion? What happens when two souls do not just meet, but lock into the exact same frequency? Today, we are going to explore the soul lock phenomenon. We will journey into the deepest layers of human connection to understand why you feel this unbreakable pull toward him. We will uncover why you can feel his mood from miles away, why you cannot hide your secrets from him, and why, no matter how hard you try to run, the universe keeps pushing you back into his orbit. If you have been feeling crazy, if you have been wondering why you cannot simply move on like everyone else, this video is your answer. You are not obsessed, you are aligned. To understand this, we must first understand that you are not a solid body. You are a vibrating field of energy. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, broadcasts a specific frequency into the world. Most people we meet are dissonant to us. They are static noise. We interact with them, but we do not feel them. Then there are some who are harmonious. We get along with them, we like them. But then, once or twice in a lifetime, you meet a frequency that is identical to your own. It is a perfect resonance. And when two identical waveforms meet, they do not just touch, they amplify, they lock. This locking process is intense. It can be scary. It strips away your defenses because suddenly you are not just being seen by another person. You are being seen by yourself. He is your mirror. He reflects your light and your shadow with equal intensity. And the moment this lock happens, the illusion of separation begins to dissolve. You stop being you and him, and you start moving through the world as a single energetic entity. This is why it hurts so much when you are apart. It is not just emotional pain. It is the sensation of being torn in half. The first undeniable sign that this lock has occurred is the formation of a telepathic cord. You might be sitting alone in your room, completely absorbed in a book or your work, and suddenly, his face flashes in your mind. A wave of emotion hits you out of nowhere. Maybe it is anxiety. Maybe it is sudden joy. Maybe it is a heavy sadness that does not belong to you. And then, 5 minutes later, your phone lights up with his name. Or you find out later that he was going through a crisis at that exact moment. This is what quantum physics calls entanglement. When two particles have interacted deeply, they remain connected regardless of the distance between them. If you spin one particle, the other spins instantly, even if it is on the other side of the galaxy. You and he are those particles. The space between you is an illusion. You are constantly communicating in the silence. You wake up at 3 a.m. because he is awake. You reach for your phone to text him the exact moment he is typing to you. And this leads us to the second sign, which is the quality of your silence. With anyone else, silence is awkward. You rush to fill the gaps with small talk because the empty space feels heavy. You talk about the weather. You talk about work. You talk just to avoid the discomfort of just being. But with him, the silence is a sanctuary. You can sit in a car with him for hours without saying a single word, and yet an entire conversation is taking place. The energy between you is so thick, so rich, and so comforting that words feel unnecessary. They feel like a distraction. In this silence, your nervous system regulates. For the first time in your life, you feel safe. You feel like you can finally put down the heavy armor you have been carrying for years. This is the shadow comfort. With the rest of the world, you wear a mask. You show them your best side, your polite side, your strong side. But with him, you feel a strange desire to show him your darkness. You want him to see your fears, your scars, your jealousies, and your flaws. And the miracle is that when you show him these things, he does not run away. He moves closer, because he recognizes those same scars in himself. He does not judge your shadow, because he is living in it too. This is the deepest form of intimacy. It is not finding someone who loves your perfection. It is finding someone who feels safe in your chaos. But we must be honest about the nature of this connection. A soul lock is not always peaceful. In fact, in the beginning, it can be terrifying. This brings us to the concept of the catalyst. Because this person is your mirror, they trigger you more than anyone else ever could. They know exactly where your buttons are because they installed them. They force you to look at the parts of yourself that you have been avoiding. If you are insecure, they will unconsciously do things that trigger your insecurity, not to hurt you, but to force you to heal it. If you have a fear of abandonment, the dynamic will test that fear until you learn to stand on your own 2 feet. This is why one person often runs. The intensity of the soul lock is too much for the ego to handle. The ego wants safety. It wants predictability. It wants a nice, normal relationship where nothing ever changes. But this connection demands transformation. It demands that you burn down the old version of yourself to build something new. So he might run. He might pull away. He might say, "This is too much," or "I am not ready." But here is the paradox. The harder he runs, the tighter the knot becomes. This is the magnetic return. You might break up. You might block each other. You might swear that you are moving on and never speaking to him again. You might even date other people. But the universe has a sense of humor. You will see his name on street signs. You will hear his favorite song in the grocery store. You will run into his friends in a city you have never been to. The universe will conspire to bring you back into the same room, over and over again, until you surrender to the fact that you cannot escape your own soul. You try to cut the cord, but it only stretches. It never breaks. And in that time apart, you both feel a phantom limb pain. You go through your day, but the colors are a little less bright. The food tastes a little less flavorful. There is a background hum of longing that never quite goes away. This is because once frequencies lock, they strive to return to equilibrium. You are 2 magnets that have been turned on. You can hold them apart with force, but the moment you let go, they will snap back together. So what do you do when you are in this lock? How do you navigate a love that feels bigger than your own body? The answer is not in chasing, and it is not in forcing. The answer is in surrender. You must stop trying to understand it with your logical mind. Your logic is too small for this. This is a matter of the spirit. You must trust the connection enough to let it breathe. If he is running, let him run. He is only running from himself, and he cannot run forever. If there is distance, honor the distance. Use the space to deepen your own frequency. Remember that because you are connected, everything you do for yourself, you are doing for the connection. When you heal your own wounds, you are healing the dynamic between you. When you find peace within yourself, you send a signal of peace down that telepathic cord that calms him down, wherever he is. You do not need to worry about losing him. You cannot lose what is already a part of you. The fear of loss comes from the ego, which thinks you are separate. The soul knows you are one. So breathe. Let go of the tight grip. Let go of the need to label it or control the timeline. Eventually, the resistance will break. Eventually, the fear will be outweighed by the love. And when that moment comes, when two souls finally stop fighting and allow the lock to click into place, the energy that is released is enough to light up the world. It is a reunion of the highest order. It is the feeling of finally, after a lifetime of wandering, walking through the door of your true home, taking off your shoes, and resting. You are home now. You are safe. And nothing, not time, not space, not fear, can ever separate what the universe has joined together.